It's not too late to make someone's holiday season a special one. Start now as an Amazon Delivery Station warehouse associate to earn some extra money for the holidays. You'd help bring joy to thousands near you by preparing packages and loading them up for their final delivery. With night and early morning shifts available through the new year, you'd also have the flexibility to spend time with your loved ones. To start as a delivery station associate, go to amazon.com/holidaywork. Amazon is a proud equal opportunity employer.
The $2 Small McCafe is the answer to your day. The question is whether you go with a rich caramel frappe paired with a warm cinnamon roll, a sweet caramel macchiato paired with a blueberry muffin made with real blueberries, or a hot chocolate paired with a classic apple fritter. Don't worry, there's never a wrong choice. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
Oh, that one was crispy.
Ooh, I like it.
You know what that sound means? It's another episode of Game for a Movie. I am your host, Mike. I am joined by...
Andre.
Jill.
Nice. This time we got it better.
I'm a little early on this time, you know?
Yep. No, it makes sense. And we've talked about the order a little more. So this time I felt a little more comfortable.
Yeah, that's the power of planning.
If you didn't listen to our episode last week, the start of it was great. Let me tell you.
True comedy.
Yeah. So this is one of our movie banter episodes. So there is no bad movie unless we watched one on our own. But it's still great talk about movies with friends. We're going to jump into what we are drinking, of course. So,
yes.
Andre, what are you drinking over there?
I have in my hands, for the second episode in a row, a cider. It's a cider Geist from Rheingeist Brewing. It is the Snug Cider. It's hard cider with spices. It's got a little 5-spice blend in there. I gotta say, it's pleasant, you know?
It is really nice.
Nice little fall cider.
See,
I
love Rheingeist.
Yeah, easy to drink.
I am a big fan of Rheingeist.
Yeah, we're Rheingeist fans here, too.
Exactly. Jill, what are you drinking over there?
I'm drinking water.
Yeah.
Stay hydrated.
High quality H2O. I have got Broken Symmetry Nano Nimbus. It's a hazy pale ale. I filled in...
Nano Nimbus, I like that.
Yeah, I filled in for hosting trivia right before Thanksgiving there. It's like an hour away from my house, but it was totally worth it. That place was awesome. It's converted train station.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's a small brewery. Don't get me wrong, it's very small. But it's cool because it's right along the train tracks, and you can tell it was an old station depot kind of thing.
What's the brewery called again?
Broken Symmetry.
Broken Symmetry. Okay.
Yes, it is in Bethel.
Brewery, and then Nimbus is the beer. Okay.
Yeah, it is in Bethel. It literally, it's small and everything like that, but there's a lot of cool things to do in Bethel. It's well worth the trip. And so I just picked up 2 4-packs for Thanksgiving, and it's delicious.
Nice.
I also have a 9% honey saison from them as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, both are phenomenal, top ranks. So.
Maybe we check them out on our winter break, Jill. You know?
Yeah, I like that.
Highly
also,
recommend.
Bethel is an important character in Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Oh, is this a video game podcast? We'll talk about Shin Megami Tensei 5?
He said it was Bethel, and I'm like, oh, I've been hearing that name a lot the last 3 weeks.
Very, very, very fun JRPG.
Loving it.
I'm pretty sure you said some of that in English. I'm not 100% sure.
There was one word in English, and it was the number 5.
Oh,
Yes.
5. Got it. Yeah,
Right.
okay. Yeah. I follow 5, yes.
If you know, you know. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. If you like Persona, this game's also made by the same studio.
You mean Persona 5?
Yes. Yeah.
Got it. Nailed it.
You got it. There you go.
Oh, my God. We're putting the game in Game for a Movie, for sure.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I like that.
I like having a little game corner.
Oh,
every now
yeah.
and again,
I
you
don't-
know,
It's
and,
fun.
We talk movies, and that's fine and everything like that, but we can talk video games, TV shows, anything, really. You
That's
know?
cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You should get Hades on the Switch. Since I know you have one.
Yes. Okay.
It's very fun. I'm enjoying it.
You're playing through that now. That was my favorite game a couple years ago. It was so good. Hades
Okay.
is great.
We also
$20.
need to get a Mario Party game going.
We absolutely
Yes.
do.
So
Yes.
I just
Because
bought
we
Mario
all have
Party.
Superstars.
I also
Or
just
whatever it's called.
I bought
All-Stars?
Yeah, All Stars. Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Superstars
Yeah,
All
no,
Stars.
Mario Party All-Stars.
The new Mario Party that's a bunch of old Mario Party maps. Yes. It's great.
You make it sound, when you say it like that, it doesn't sound as good.
No, but that's what they needed to do, man. I just wanted to play some fucking Mario Party like I was on N64. It's great.
Yeah, no, we will definitely have you guys over, and we will have a good time.
I am in. I also got Metroid Dread, which I've been playing through.
How far are you?
If you want to know,
Not far.
Now Andre's going to talk video games.
I know.
He loves Metroid.
I'm not far, and I knew that would get you excited.
Oh, I love that game so much. That's my favorite game so far this year.
That's your goatee?
That's going to be my goatee, yeah. We have 4 weeks left of the year. It's the game of the year at this point for me. It's so good.
I'm trying to think what else came out this year because now I'm trying to figure out what my best of the year is. It's been fun, don't get me wrong, so I'm not far in it. But yeah, that is definitely, it's been fun so far.
Yeah, my game of the year is a game that didn't even come out this year, but I played it this year.
Okay.
And that's Xenoblade Chronicles.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of that. Yeah. I'm now looking up video games from, so I disappeared off of our chat.
That's right. We lost your beautiful face. I mean, like, the thing is that everything got delayed this year, so there really hasn't been that many huge releases, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, but I'm gonna look anyway just to see what I've played and what I think is the best. Ooh, I did really enjoy the Link's Awakening they re-released. That was fun.
It's also the style that is so cute.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that. I think that's why I was like a big fan of it this year. Damn, I really haven't played a lot of these this year. Shit.
Yeah, no, same.
Hitman 3.
I've played very long
Hitman 3.
games.
That was in January. That was super early too. I need to finish Hitman. I'm halfway through 2. That game is so. I love that trilogy. That trilogy is just so wacky.
Yeah, right. Hitman. Hitman's always fun. Like, it's always a good time. You know what you're getting from the very beginning when you buy it, but it's still always fun. All right. Enough video game talk. We're going to hide. We're going to head into movie talk and maybe TV shows as well. Maybe. Movies first,
guys.
Andre.
Andre's like gunning to go, so I think we gotta let him.
More like I'm trying to force all these memories to come from this experience because I've already forgotten a lot about the time I've watched Eternals.
What
was
that was
3 months ago? 3 weeks ago? Well, it came out a month ago. We watched it the weekend after it came out, right?
Yeah, we did not pay full price. We did not see it on we did not see it in IMAX like we did Dune.
No, we did not. Right. Oh my God. I need to talk about Dune. Shit.
No, I think you're going to talk about the Turtles.
I know. Shit. Well, whatever. I mean, like...
You said you were going to talk about the Turtles. You're talking about the Turtles.
Oh, God.
You know what this means? This is why we needed to have a November episode now, because it's backlogged.
It is. No, definitely. We've been backlogged up a little bit. But whatever. It's Marvel. Like, we've had a bunch of Marvel episodes, and we're all Marvel heads, I guess, at this point.
Yeah.
Right? So, whatever. Eternals. It's a movie. It came out. We watched it. It was fine. I don't know.
Well, that's what I'd say about Marvel movies, too, when you say that we're all Marvel fans and everything like that. It's so weird to me about this one, because I've said, I will say it again, if this wasn't part of the MCU, I don't think I would see it.
Yeah. I'd agree. Like, that's the thing, is that it I mean... I'm not familiar with the Eternals comics at all, so
right.
I was really just watching this mostly for the Marvel Cinematic Universe connection and Kumail Nanjiani. Those are the two reasons I was coming to watch it.
Kumail's the only part that, like, of the casting even got me excited, because I am not a huge Angelina Jolie fan. She's good.
She's actually pretty good in this.
Yeah, okay.
She's if anything, she's underutilized.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also think that this would have been better as a mini-series rather than a movie.
I would have liked to have watched a prestige television season of this instead of an hour and a half. What is it? No, it's two.
It's over 2.5 hours.
Yeah, 2.5 hours.
It's a very long movie.
Because they have to introduce what, 10 characters?
10 characters.
Oh
11. If you're counting Kit Harington.
Yeah, you're right. Kit Harington.
And he's underutilized too.
He just shows up at the beginning just to say, "Wow, like this is crazy, whoa!" And then also, why didn't you guys help out with Thanos? And then that's basically its only plot importance until.
Later.
Yeah. Anyways. No, definitely. Joe alluded to it. This movie has a huge problem, I think, in that I just did not care about any individual character that much, right? it's like this is an ensemble movie without any of the preamble, if that makes sense, right?
Okay.
Like there's no I don't know. It's just asking you to care about this huge team when you don't know anything about them, and then by their very nature, they're the Eternals. They're immortal beings that are above humans, right? So
yeah, they're gods.
They're like demigods or whatever, and so by the very nature, kind of makes some of them kind of plain, right? You know, like I would say Cersei, the main character, she's like, I had nothing to grab onto her character, right?
Yeah.
Like her main arc is that she used to have this super long relationship with Icarus, played by Richard Madden, and now that that's over, she's decided that she's gone full native and she's living with amongst humans now. She's now dating Kit Harington's character, who's a normal human guy, and.
Kit Harington's a normal human guy in this?
Yeah, he's a normal human guy. Yeah,
okay.
He's not an Eternal.
Totally vanilla.
He's just another Londoner. Yeah, that's it. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
That feels like a waste of an actor there.
Well, okay.
There's stuff with him.
All I will say is that this won't be the last movie that Kit Harington's
okay.
in.
All right.
Is that all I will leave at that.
All right. When I see it on Disney Plus in January.
It's like when Hawkeye showed up in Thor.
Yes,
yeah, okay.
Where it's like, oh, hey, that's a person.
Okay. Yeah. All right, when I see it on Disney Plus in January, then I'll have a better idea.
Right, and I definitely think you could wait till it comes on Disney Plus to watch this, right? If you haven't seen it yet, like, I don't know.
Especially with January movies, like, we're not waiting on the next big thing to be in January. They'll have time.
Yes, exactly. I mean, visually, I think this movie looks really cool.
Yeah,
there's a lot of really cool shots.
Really pretty.
Very pretty movie. Especially with like the kind of this. They do a really good job of selling you on the scale of the Celestials. The Celestials are these giant, huge beings that basically oversee the development of the universe, and they created the Eternals. They're those are the beings that are like, hey. I think the main Celestial's name is Arishem, right? Arishem is the one that basically creates the titular Eternals that we're following and sends them to Earth. And they do a really good job of showing like the scenes that he's in. They really do a good job selling them on just how huge and how almighty these beings are. It's cool.
Nice.
I would say that, let's see, in terms of like action scenes, I don't know, man. It's just a lot of CGI. Like all so what the Eternals are fighting are this race of alien mutation creatures called the Deviants. Right?
Deviants,
Those are the only you've seen in the trailers. They can only fight Deviant. They can only interfere when Deviants are involved. So a lot of these fights are just them against the CGI weird dinosaur tentacle monster thing. And there's really not much to sell it on. I will say that what was her name? Is it Makari? She's the one that was
the fast one. Makari, right? Yeah.
I liked how they displayed her super speed, as it were, right?
Okay.
I did like the shots that she was running fast in. It was cool, and I kind of like if then whatever Flashpoint, whatever that next Flash movie is, if a lot of the running scenes look like Makari running around, I'm down for that. It looked cool. It felt kinetic. It felt frenetic. And you saw it in real time. They didn't do slow-mo with her. Which I really appreciate, right?
Nice.
Yeah, that distinguished her from Flash and
other
what's it called?
Quicksilver.
Justice League.
Yeah. Okay.
And Quicksilver. If I can add, I think a lot of the issues with the film, besides the fact that they're trying to introduce technically 11 new characters, is the scope of it. Because this is a movie that spans thousands of years, millennia, and they're trying. And the whole point of the film, and hopefully this is not a spoiler, is that it's like they've been here, they've been living among us, and a good driving force of the film is their connection to Earth. Okay. And then the problem with the fact that they couldn't interfere with Thanos, and then the ramifications of all of that. Right. Where the movie really fails is that they just don't give them the backstories needed to be like, yeah, I really get that you care about humanity.
Right. I mean, you get some little blips.
Some of them have it, but not all of them.
But not all of them, right.
I see what you did there, blips.
Yes. Oh, jeez. Yeah.
The blip.
Well, I mean, so there's some characters that have these sort of hang-ups. I think Druig had kind of an interesting sort of dynamic where, so all these Eternals had different powers. Druig's, his power is to mind control humans, right? Okay. And so they show in the beginning of the scene, he uses that as a placating tool where, humans would, they try to be aggressive against them, and he basically, forces them to put down their weapons and calm down or whatever. And they kind of have there's another like half this movie is just flashback scenes. And there's a flashback in, like, when they do a flashback scene. This is fairly early on in the movie, so not a huge spoiler. They do a flashback scene to when, I believe it the Mayans that are getting invaded by the Spanish.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
And basically, like, they're watching all this carnage, and Druig just basically says, I can combine control all these people and make them stop at a whim. Like I can stop all this bloodshed. And Salma Hayek's character, Ajak, who's the leader of these Eternals, basically says, nope, we can't interfere, can't do it. And that's basically his big split. Like, he's like, nope, if I could just have everybody follow my will, everything would be fine.
Yeah, there's kind of conflict.
And so basically he just kind of, that's when he leaves the group and he fucks off to nowhere. And so I guess the structure of this movie is that there's an inciting incident that basically is like, oh man, all of the Eternals have been scattered in modern day present. Like they're still among us, but they're not hanging out together as a group anymore. Okay. And so there's an inciting incident that I won't say, but basically it's like, we got to get the band back together. Exactly. So half this, 2/3 of this movie
so wait, it's the Blues Brothers?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's a road movie where they're
trying
to reunite the family.
Yeah. And so it just kind of splits between like, oh, like, we gotta go find Kingo. Oh, we gotta go find Druid. We gotta go find Phastos. And then you get a little blurb about what they were like before and why they left the group. And it's just kind of, I don't know, kind of jumps around a bunch.
I haven't seen any of the director Chloe Zhao's other films.
Right.
So, like, I think that this movie, if you're listening and you paid attention to ratings, this movie is the lowest rated Marvel film now.
Okay.
And I definitely think some of that is, Chloe Zhao, this Oscar-winning director, was going to make gold out of this. So they put her on. The expectation for her was so much higher than some other directors.
This is not nearly the worst Marvel movie. This is not the worst Marvel by a long shot. That's
where would you say it is on your list? I'm not asking for like a blow by blow. Like, would it be bottom 5, middle?
It's not bottom 5. I would say it's bottom 3rd, though, for me.
Okay.
It's probably somewhere below Doctor Strange. You know, slightly below middle of the road for me.
I would say it's higher. So, I think Doctor Strange is a lesser film. Mm-hmm. So, for me, it's a little more towards the middle. I think it's better than Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay.
I think it's better than Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I feel like Ant-Man and the I guess this is going to the problem. Ant-Man and the Wasp is going to be an easier sell for me to rewatch because it's just I can just put that on and
smaller story.
It's a smaller story and it's not going to bore me. You know what I mean? Like, I will just forget about it. But like, I was tired after watching this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was ready for it.
Yeah, this movie is not funny. This movie is not lighthearted.
Not every Marvel movie has to be funny. It does definitely feel like they were like saying like, see, this is different. They don't have the Marvel quips like all the other Marvel movies do or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well now it's just kind of boring, man. You know, like Kingo is the one that has he's the only one that has any sort of life in this movie. I feel like, right?
Yeah, and then there are a couple scenes when it all kind of comes together for a few seconds. Yeah. And it's like, wow, I like this family aspect. I like the relationships that are here, the power dynamic, possibly a power dynamic struggle, maybe.
Right. But
then the scene changes or the plot needs to get going because we're an hour and a half in and the band's still not together.
Right.
And we don't really know why are they getting together, and there's a lot of things that get set up and then dropped or then appear out of nowhere and then have little to no ramifications, and I'll stand by it. This should have been a 10-part miniseries, 8 episodes for all of the characters, some of them having their own, others being doubled up, and then an intro episode to set everything, and then a finale.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
there you go.
It sounds ironic that I'm like complaining about how long this movie was, but I definitely agree with Jill. It just could have used more time, but also chugged up, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it just asking for you to sit down and for 2.5 hours and coming out with not really caring about these characters, something went wrong here, is all I'm going to say, right? I don't know. It sounds like I'm really harsh on this movie. It was perfectly fine. I don't feel like I got ripped off or mugged for watching this movie.
No.
Right.
And dare I say, when they make Eternals 2, I'll probably still go see that in theaters.
I don't think they're going to.
But
I don't think they're going to make an Eternals 2. I have a theory about how they're going to be involved into the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to give them another standalone film. I think they're going to be woven into other character stories.
Right. Like, I could see them just kind of showing up here and there in other, basically
right.
what you said. So, and we can't really talk about specifics of that without super spoiling it.
Right. Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
No worries.
So I do have a question because this was a hot button topic in the community.
Okay.
So they showed a sex scene in it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
There is a sex scene.
Did
There
it
is one,
did it
yes.
throw you off in a Marvel movie to see a sex scene?
No,
I didn't think it would.
It was such a. You know, it's a bog standard PG-13 sex scene. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
okay.
Like it's.
Yep.
The curtains might as well have blown
Yeah,
by.
the curtains were blowing in the wind in the background or whatever. Yeah, it was so.
We saw some gyrating bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Shirtless gyrating bodies for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
It didn't linger. I don't know, like, no. It was that is not like, and it wasn't like, okay, so it wasn't raunchy enough to be like, whoa, like they really went for it, and it wasn't meaningful enough to be like, wow, this is a really
This
mature
was
take
necessary.
on the Marvel formula.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering, I didn't
I'm fine
think-
with having a little sex in there because
Sure, like
they
it's
don't
not
need
like
to be these characters don't need to be asexual and all, but like name only.
Well, what's kind of frustrating is that those specific characters, and I guess whatever, I won't spoil who it is, but like, I felt my main critique of both those characters is that I don't care about them because they both feel inhuman to me. You know what I mean? So
Fair.
And so that sex scene certainly didn't help that situation. I guess is all.
Fair.
You know, it's like
Okay.
could
All
have
right.
done without it. Who cares? You know.
Well, that's what I was curious about. I didn't think it would matter much, and it makes me laugh that they bring up like, oh, it's the first sex scene in a Marvel movie. Iron Man slept with the first
Right.
reporter.
I would say Iron Man 1 was way more lewd than anything.
Yeah,
in
okay.
Eternals.
Even
Like,
more so. Yeah, okay.
This is an artistically poetic sex scene.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what would you guys give ratings for it?
I don't know.
2.5.
2 point. It's just a 2. It's 2. Let's
2
see.
out of 2. I'm gonna say 2 out of 5 jars of spit.
Oh God! Right? Yeah, I was gonna say two Bollywood posters out of 5.
Okay. I followed the second one a little more than the first one.
Yeah.
It makes sense when you see the film.
Yep,
Okay.
It does.
All right.
It does.
January can't get here
God.
fast enough, and by fast
Yep.
enough, it can take its time.
Yep.
All right, Jill, you have something for us?
I do. I'm actually, before I get into it, I'm just searching a movie I was originally going to talk about, and then I found something way better.
Okay.
Oh, so you get to change your movie, and I don't.
Yeah.
I already knew what I was. Well, I already like.
She's gonna talk about Dune now.
On Thursday, I thought I was going to talk about X, and then
Yes.
on Friday I watched a much better movie. But I want to
Okay.
make sure. I want to verify there it is. So, every holiday, every Christmas, I always get into a rom-com vibe.
Okay.
I love them. It's all stupid and saccharine.
Do you watch the Hallmark ones or just rom-coms?
Well, rom-coms, I can't watch Hallmark because we do not have cable.
Ah, okay.
Right.
Okay, that's fair. That's actually fair.
Do I get like a recently watched thing? Your watch list? Watch
But
anywhere?
do you need help over here?
I'm trying to remember what I watched. Well, I know what it's called.
Yeah, just Google it.
I tried that, and it gave me a book. There it is.
All right.
So, originally I was going to talk about the Amazon Prime film A Winter Romance, which stars a librarian who abruptly loses her job and moves back to a small hometown that she's actually not from, because that's where her brother now lives. And along the way, she meets a handsome millionaire, but doesn't realize he's a millionaire who's trying to resuscitate a hotel, but the locals are all against the change because they think it's going to sell out the town. And it's, like I said, it's called A Winter Romance. And the reason originally I was going to talk about it was because it doesn't take place in winter. It takes place in fucking November. So it is a lie. And
What?
Chad Michael Murray's in it.
Chad Michael Murray's in it? Wait, he's doing stuff?
Yeah, and he looks good. The dude hasn't aged. He's aging like a fine wine. He looks fantastic. He's
my
by far the best thing
God.
in this movie. And it's a shame that there's not enough scenes of him shirtless riding a horse.
Yeah,
But-
okay.
This movie was hot garbage and not in a fun way, and it infuriates me, and this stupid librarian can go fuck herself. Instead,
Stupid librarian can go fuck yourself.
because at first, like, the aside here is that it's it starts off with her being like, I love doing research and helping people uncover history. And I'm like, so why aren't you a fucking archivist? Why are you working at a public library? And then she loses her job, like I said. And I'm like, well, boo-hoo, you shouldn't have been working in a fucking public library. That's why, that's why your job is lost. It's a public library. They have no funding. And then stuff happens. So originally was going to talk about that. And then on Friday...
Wait, I got to bring it up. Okay, so he was on like a ton of episodes of Riverdale.
Oh,
Chad Michael Murray?
Yeah.
I don't watch Riverdale anymore. I left. I gave up after season 1.
So he was on Riverdale, Sun Records, Agent Carter.
Didn't watch that.
He was on 14 episodes of Agent Carter.
That's like apparently like the best Marvel TV live action series.
That's what I've heard too. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
No worries. Oh, and Andre's quip when he glanced over it when I was watching this movie, he's like, does it sound horrible for me to say that she looks like a porn star?
Like, it just looked like a porn parody of a librarian. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and maybe that says a lot more about me than it does about the film, but
yeah,
that's
it probably
just
does.
what I got.
It probably does.
That she was not appropriately dressed for her job.
Right,
yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, what?
And I don't mean like skin-tight clothing. It's just like she was very dressed up. And I'm like, you're a public librarian. You don't need to be wearing skirt, heels, and a nice top.
Okay.
Anyway, we're not talking about this movie. Because on Friday, I moved on to Netflix because they released their holiday collection.
Okay.
And I came across Love Hard.
There is no bigger scam than the holiday rom-coms of the world. There's just no bigger scam. They just pump them out for cheap just to make money.
Oh my God, I love it. It's like a conveyor belt of films.
And we're consuming it.
I'm consuming it.
Yeah, right. They found enough Jills in the world.
So, Love Hard came out in 2021, and the synopsis reads, an LA girl unlucky in love falls for an East Coast guy on a dating app and decides to surprise him for the holidays, only to discover that she's been catfished. This lighthearted romantic comedy chronicles her attempt to reel in love. Get it? She got catfished.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
It stars Nina Dobrev and Jimmy O Yang.
I know both of those.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I know Jimmy O Yang because not from Silicon Valley, but from Crazy Rich Asians.
Yep.
And he's hilarious in that. So when I saw that he was in here, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be at least funny.
He's also in Space Force, which
Yes, he's in Space Force.
Yes.
He's also in Fantasy
Oh,
Island.
dear.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He was in Fantasy Island. That's
And I
right.
saw that for the pod.
Yep.
And it gets so much worse at the end.
Hey, you know what? He's also in the Lego Movie Part 2, the second part, as Enthusiastic Zebra.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
I appreciate that.
That's enthusiastic, zebra.
What I was getting at is that this was going to be bare minimum funny. Like, it's not, it's probably not going to be good, but it's going to at least probably have some good jokes because I feel like he has a good read on comedy.
Right.
And his career is not that desperate.
Not yet.
Not yet. Hopefully not. He's actually really, really good in this. So as I said in the summary, she's not lucky in love, and she's chronicling all her misadventures with a blog, or might not be a blog, like a news website that she is a writer for.
Okay.
And the whole reason this gets started is that she's talking about how she's so unlucky in love, but she apparently has ridiculously high standards. She's only looking for the 1% men who look like gods, who have perfect personalities, but then when she actually meets them, they're bland, stupid, or just full of themselves.
Yeah.
So her friend takes her phone and widens her searching radius from 5 miles. Honey, you're in LA and you're only doing 5 miles? Come on. California's a big ass state.
Well, and like LA too, though, they have so many people, like you can go 25 and still be fine.
Yeah. So we go from 5 miles of LA to the whole country. And she matches with a dude named Josh in Lake Placid, New York. And they hit it off. And they have conversations through texting, then through voice call. And her friend's like, oh my God, he sounds like too good to be true. You need to see a real picture of him. And the only way that you can really know it's true is if he's holding up a newspaper with today's date. And she's like, oh no, it's fine. He's totally real. He sounds so cool. Blah, 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 blah. So she's like, hey, can you just send me a picture? So he does. And she's like, see, he's a real guy.
He's a real boy.
Exactly. So after some flirtation, he kind of says in passing, "Oh, I wish you could be with me for Christmas." So she decides to bet it all on love and flies to Lake Placid, New York to be with him for Christmas. And she gets there, and come on, everybody can know where this is going. So she gets there, finds his house somehow, and meets his family. And his family is actually like super fun. His mom is played by Rebecca Stab Barb. His dad Bob is played by James Saito, and then grandma is played by Althea Kaye. And they're just so excited to see her, and she's a gorgeous woman. Their son really hit it out of the park, and they're like, "Oh, let's go get Josh, have a date. Someone's here." And slow-mo, the door opening, you get the full body rising shot, and it's Jimmy O Yang. She's so the love boat has come to an abrupt halt here, and the
record scratch moment.
Yeah, exactly. And the movie becomes kind of so it's still a rom-com because she sees the guy whose pictures he had been using for himself. Like, that's a real person that lives in the town of Lake Placid. So she's like, well, I'm going to get him to fall in love with me. So it becomes trying to win a guy over while also developing this friendship/relationship with the guy who originally catfished her.
Right.
And it's also low-key a musical.
What?
Yeah, it's a musical. There are 3 musical numbers, maybe even 4.
Is that the minimum number? Is it like a song per?
Well, it depends by how long the thing is.
That's what I mean. Like, is there like a song every 15 minutes or a song every 20 minutes?
This is an hour and 44 minutes, and I think there are 4 songs. So this is almost a musical. But the fact that not once, twice, or even thrice characters break into song. It's a musical, in my opinion. So we get a rendition of "I Would Do Anything for Love" by Meatloaf.
Okay.
That was great. We get a weird a cappella moment with a Christmas song, and then "Baby It's Cold Outside." But it's the gender role swapped version, because all these characters actually can sing. Harry Shum Jr. from Glee plays Josh's older brother,
okay,
and he can sing and dance. So naturally, they were like, "Oh, well, let's take advantage of this triple threat right here," because he can also act. I think there are only 3 songs, but regardless, it's fun. Is the movie stupid at points? Yes, absolutely, because she, in trying to win over the guy that she thought she was talking to, she lies about who she is. She says that she's an outdoorsy type. She says that she likes to eat meat, even though she's a vegetarian, that she's experienced rock climbing. So she's effectively doing the exact same thing that Jimmy O Yang did, but at least in his case, he never lied about who he was as a person. He lied about who he was visually.
What he looked like, yeah.
Because Asian Americans are less likely to find matches on dating sites. So all of that. And this was actually really, really fun. It was not I thought it was going to be a little more dumb, and I'm really happy it was smarter than that.
Yeah. And
there's just a lot of homages to rom-com movies. So Love Hard is a reference to the fact that Nina's character, Natalie, her favorite Christmas movie is Die Hard. Jimmy O Yang's character's favorite movie is Love Actually. Get it? Love Hard.
Oh, God.
There's a lot of homages to Love Actually. They play a song that plays in 500 Days of Summer.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's not a mistake. They did that on purpose. I liked it. As someone who enjoys rom-coms, I found all of those little notes to it pretty cute and funny.
Nice.
So for my first of the Netflix winter collection, this was quite good. And Jimmy O Yang is hilarious and should be in more things. I thought he did a really great job as the main character, and give him more things to be the lead in.
Yes. He was actually not.
Really real guy.
He was not the worst part of Fantasy Island, so I'm with you on that.
Good. Also, his character is a candle maker, and I love candles. So it's like the same thing with Jack Black's character in The Holiday when he's a soundtrack composer. It's like, yes, this is a profession I find oddly sexy. Please go on. Well, then we talk about his candle scents, and I'm like, oh, I'd buy a candle that smelled like some of these things.
Right. So his whole thing is he's trying to get manly scents on the market, right? He's trying to tap into the
it's 50% of the candle market's untapped because there's no sense for men.
Like wolf musk or like falcon tears or something like that.
No, one of them's like lawn mowing.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Nice. All right, lawn mowing, like fresh cut grass. Like, okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. And then, like I said, the family is just really, really fun too because they're so excited that he is dating somebody. And then like just how extra they are with everything. So if you enjoy a nice romantic comedy and you can turn your brain off for a little bit, check out Love Hard.
How many movies are in the Netflix holiday collection?
I don't know. Let's find out.
I'm a little scared. Well,
I know.
And also, you need to give a rating on this one.
Yes, you do.
I will give it 3 out of 5 kiwi allergies.
Okay. Wow, I didn't know you could have more than one kiwi allergy, but cool.
Yeah, right.
I do not have a kiwi allergy, but somebody does in the movie.
Well, right. I'm just saying plural? Okay.
Also, like, how far is Lake Placid from anywhere you've been in upstate New York, Andre? Have you ever been there?
I have not been to Lake Placid, no.
I've been to Lake Placid.
It's not a Finger Lake, right?
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
What is the fame? How does Lake Placid get to be like...
It's where the Olympics was.
Yeah, right.
So there was Winter Olympics there in 92?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like,
yeah.
No,
it's pretty far from anywhere I've been, So I was in Rochester, and that's probably a solid 4-hour drive. Let's look.
So
there's a lot of movies in Netflix's holiday collection. I'm definitely not going to get to watch them all, but I think I need to check out Father Christmas is Back.
Yes, you do.
5-hour drive, literally, on Google Maps.
John Cleese is in this. I need to see this.
Lake Placid, when we were there, there was like the outdoor games happening, like it always happens there. And so we watched a lot of people with chainsaws and logs and everything like that. It was kind of fun, actually. Yeah. The axe one, like the splitting the log. And that was cool, actually. It was a really cool time.
I just found another holiday film that's got Rob Lowe and Kirsten Davis in it. That's also going on the watch list. Holiday in the Wild.
Okay. I wish you best of luck on all your endeavors.
I know, and wish Andre luck too, because I'm going to make him watch some of these with me.
Oh, God.
Poor
bastard.
I'm like, I'm spending Christmas with his family, and I'm like, what movie should I make them watch? They already made them watch The Muppets Christmas Carol last year, which is a great film, and everybody should watch it. So I'm like,
that's going to happen.
Make them watch The Holiday? Like, it's a seasonal requisite for me.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
Maybe I make them watch Holiday in the Wild.
Oh my God.
Who knows?
Good luck. I wish you the best of luck for both of you.
Thank you.
I'm scared.
Well, I won't make you watch Love Actually.
I mean, I haven't watched Love Actually, probably.
I've seen it too many times. It's good. Have you never seen it?
I have not, no.
We might need to watch that then.
Okay.
All right, Mike.
I'm just doing my cue cards of Love Actually.
Well, Bill Nighy is the best part of Love Actually, and all of his amazing blouses.
Yeah, you're right about that, probably. Yeah. So I'm going to talk about Last Night in Soho. Both of you two have not seen it, so I'm going to go spoiler-free. But the story is essentially a fashion student. She's on the poorer side of things. Her mother has passed away, but she still sees her mom because she has this supernatural connection somehow, some way. She gets into this fashion university in London and basically moves there to live on her own and go to this fashion school and become this famous fashion designer and everything like that. And we know she's obsessed with the 60s. That is what we know about her. So all of her designs are very 60s inspired and everything like that. She moves out on her own and she starts seeing this girl from the 60s, Sandy, who's played by Anya Taylor-Joy. And Anya Taylor-Joy's character, Sandy, is a singer who's trying to get famous and falls in with the character Jack, who's played by Matt Smith.
Oh, I love Matt Smith.
Yes. Well, so the first thing I say, because their first scene together, I said to Claire, I go, I want another season of Matt Smith as Doctor Who with Anya Taylor-Joy as the companion, because I think that would be a blast.
Oh, yes. Madman in a box.
Yeah. I literally, the chemistry between the two of them right immediately is just off the chain. Like, it is insane. We also have Diana Rigg as Miss Collins. We have, that's basically it for, like, the famous people you'd know. But our main character, whose name is Eloise, is played by Thomasin McKenzie. And it bugged me for the entire movie because I could not figure out where we knew her from. We knew her from something, but we don't know what from. She was the girl in Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit, yep.
Yes. And it was bugging the hell out of us because we could not figure it out for the life of us. But yeah, basically she starts seeing Sandy in these situations where it gets worse and worse and worse. At first, like, it's just like this, like, 60s dreamland, and then it starts getting worse and worse and worse, and, like, Eloise can't separate her real life from the fake life and everything like that, and it starts messing with her whole life. To the point where, like, she gets mad at the wrong people, she gets in trouble, and just a lot of little things like that. It is an Edgar Wright movie.
This is his first with a female protagonist, right?
I believe so, yes. Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. Because he did, like, the Cornetto, he did Baby Driver, everything like that. Soundtrack
Scott
is...
Pilgrim?
Yeah. The soundtrack, as you can expect, is excellent. He does things that... Basically, at the end of this movie, I did not know how I felt about it, but I knew I wanted to see more Edgar Wright films.
Okay.
There's one scene in particular that is just phenomenal. And I really would love to see a behind the scenes where they did this. Basically, when he sees when she sees Jack and Sandy in the 60s, they start dancing, and like they do this dance, and like it's all one shot and everything. Sandy goes off screen, all of a sudden Eloise is in the scene dancing with him, and then it's Sandy again, and it's literally like dance, rotate, switch, everything like that. It's done in one take, and it feels very much like it was just the two actresses were just in swap, you know, that kind of stuff. It is an excellent scene. It is honestly amazing. One of my favorite scenes of the year. They definitely botched the ending, which I'm not going to talk about. They didn't stick the landing for it. But the first 2/3 of the movie were excellent. It is very weird. It is very strange. And it's good. But at the same time, I do not know how I feel about it at the end because of the ending.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, right. I still recommend it. At least have a good time for the first 2/3 because it is crazy and fun and like a little bit scary. It's marked as a horror movie for certain parts of it. And,
oh, really?
Yeah.
I've heard that.
I see it. Like, I do see it because it's creepy. There are some characters with like melting faces and stuff like that. It's...
Ooh.
Yeah. It's creepy. I really can't say much more without spoiling some of it. Well, the reason... So I can say, like, the reason she moved out on her own is because her roommate at university for the first part is kind of a bitch. So she basically just decided she's going to move on her own because she can't spend a semester with this lady.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But, yeah. So I would say 3.25 dresses out of 5. Is what I would say.
Wow, 3.25.
Yeah.
What's that pie?
Yes, almost pie.
We passed pie on that.
No, we did pass pie.
Yeah, past pie. Yeah. So that's Last Night in Soho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I watch this in theaters? Do we need to watch it before it gets out of
I
theaters?
don't think you need to watch it in theaters.
required?
No, I don't think you need to watch it in theaters. I think it was very good, and like I would recommend it in theaters, but at the same time, I think you could very easily watch this film and not be thrown off that it's not in theaters. It doesn't change that much.
Yeah, we managed to get our Edgar Wright fix in over Thanksgiving break when I showed my family Hot Fuzz. That was fun.
Oh yeah, nice. Oh, Hot Fuzz.
And there was like, I don't know, at first, Andre, I think you were like, I don't know. And I'm like, no, I think your family was going to really, really like it.
Yeah.
Because Andre hadn't seen it before.
I hadn't seen it either. Yeah, so
Hot Fuzz is so weird
They
to
were
me.
laughing. Oh my god, it was great.
I had no idea that Timothy Dalton was in that movie. That threw me for a loop.
Yeah. Hot Fuzz is interesting because, like, it's one of my favorites of the Cornetto trilogy, but, like, the beginning of it is just so long. And you're like...
How so?
Well, so they marketed it different. They marketed it as it was this cop action movie, that kind of stuff.
Right.
And, you know, people are disappearing and stuff, but it's not... It's, like, cop work, not cop action.
Right. Okay, got
I'm
it.
looking for the swan.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
and that kind of stuff.
yeah.
And so, like, when I first watched it, it was just, okay. I was also much younger, so all I wanted was bang,
You
bang,
wanted
bang,
was
bang,
the
bang.
violence.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you know, hey, that final climax scene, that was...
Yeah, it was well worth it.
That climax sequence goes on for too long.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's just like, it keeps getting more and more over the top, and then I don't want to spoil it if no one's seen it, and then it kind of crescendos.
I think you
and
can
it's just
spoil
like,
that one.
This was the last 45 minutes.
Yeah,
I
right.
would say my favorite Edgar Wright-ism is, even if that's even the right word, was the fucking all the montages whenever he put someone away. It's like what, like he like the extreme fast cuts when he was like putting away all the underage drinkers at the pub. I was like, wow.
Yeah, right. No, that's awesome. And again, that's why I say, especially after this movie, like, Edgar Wright makes a movie, I'm in. I'm just saying.
That's kind of where I am.
Yeah, I don't need to know much about the plot. If you say Edgar Wright made it, I'm in. So, yeah. We're going to take a quick break because we do need to get some commercial breaks in. And then we will come back with Cash or Trash, which we have not done in a while. Wow.
We have not.
No,
Yes.
we have not.
So we will do Cash or Trash after the break.
In the U.S. Army, you can make a choice to make your mark. With over 150 fields to choose from, join forces with us and take on anything.
We are back with hashtag Cash or Trash, where we tell you about some of the things we've been watching and if you should watch it, Cash, or if you should not watch it, Trash. Andre, you're going to get us started, buddy.
All right. So Jill and I are about we're
we're about to start episode 4.
We're starting episode 4 of Arcane, that the Netflix animated series.
There you go.
And it is at the top. This is definitely Cash. This is some quality shit.
Cool.
So basically, have you heard anything about it at all, Mike?
It's League of
no?
Legends or something?
Yeah, so it takes place in the League of Legends universe.
Okay.
It's called Runeterra, I guess. But you'll notice that, like, you don't need to know anything about League at all. I don't play League of Legends. Jill definitely doesn't play League of Legends.
We did years ago.
Right, but, like, we are not League fans, so we don't have much prior investment in these characters or anything like that. And we're definitely invested in the story so far.
Nice.
I think it's definitely done on purpose that the show is just called Arcane. Like, if you go on Netflix, it just says Arcane.
It's not League of Legends presents Arcane.
Yeah, it's Arcane League of underneath. League of Legends is, I think, the subtitle.
Okay, it's the subtitle. Okay, got it. That's the first time I've seen that. Yeah, I was looking at the Wikipedia page. You're right. I thought it was just Arcane, and they definitely lead with just that marketing.
My only known part of this media in any way, shape, or form is it has a very generic Imagine Dragons song attached to it.
Yes, it does, and I would say that's the worst part of the show.
Yeah,
the
right.
Title,
yeah,
that's the title song.
And like the way, and that's I hate it because I used to love Imagine Dragons. Now it's gotten so generic.
Now they're Nickelback.
Yes.
Every song sounds the same.
Oh my god, yes.
Hey, the skip intro button's there for a reason.
Yeah.
You know? So I guess I should probably give you a quick synopsis of it. Basically, it follows two sisters, Vi and Powder, and they kind of are it takes place mostly in this city called Piltover. It's like a fantasy, like high tech city where it's clear there's a clear class delineation of the haves and the have-nots. The top side is like where like the utopian society is, where there's a high-ranking council that runs everything. They all are focused on technology. This is a world where magic exists. We're still learning about it, but the citizens of Piltover don't have magical powers. It's the idea that you have to be born with magic, but they have technology instead. So they're all they're like a self-made society, as it were.
Okay.
And Vi and Powder kind of live in the slums, and they're kind of roughing it in the slums, and it's kind of following their journey, trying to, I don't know, make their way through this kind of, politically charged little
making my way downtown, walking fast, faces past some homebound.
Yeah, blowing up stuff, and it's great.
Okay.
It kind of serves as an origin. So both Vi and Powder are characters in League of Legends. So this kind of serves as their origin story, I guess. But it takes place, I think,
no idea.
Probably 10, 15 years before League. I don't even know. Whatever. It's definitely a prequel. So I guess if you don't know League of Legends, you're gonna there's a lot of these characters that will show up that are like, oh hey, I know that guy. He's this champion in League. Oh neat. But I don't feel like I'm lost as far as they throw a lot of proper nouns at you and stuff like that. But the way that it's told, it feels very accessible, and it treats these characters with a lot of respect. A lot of these characters, the villains especially, so far are nuanced. They're relatable, and it's kind of oh man, there's not just mustache twirling evil for the sake of it.
Right.
There's a lot of shades of gray, and I'm kind of surprised that something out of a League of Legends could have this kind of nuance to a story, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Hunter and I were saying it didn't need to be this good, but it is very.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
It is. Yeah. And I'm not saying it's good in spite of its origins, but. And so it's worth watching even if you don't care about League at all. This is not just for the fans. I think this is definitely worth watching.
Yeah.
If you like any sort of animation.
And visually, it looks very unique looking.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
It has this very cool art style where everything it's CGI, but it looks like hand drawn.
Okay.
Not pastel, but it has this it looks like cards.
Oh, nice.
Like art on cards.
Yes, the closest thing I could get to it is honestly Into the Spider-Verse. They look very different, but kind of that
I like that. I like that though.
Hand-drawn style.
Yeah.
Right. It's not the same kind of it's not they're not playing with the frame rate and stuff like they were with Spider-Verse, but I would say that's the closest thing I could think of to that kind of style. That and that Christmas movie Klaus that you showed me last year, Joe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, whatever. I don't want to sing too many praises of it. We're only on episode 4 out of 9 so far. We're due for the second season. Definitely hard cash. If you see it on your Netflix feed and you're like, oh, is that League of Legends show? I would say definitely give it a shot if you're at all interested in it. It's great. So, yep, hard cash.
Okay, Jill.
When we are not watching Arcane, we have been checking out Netflix's much anticipated Cowboy Bebop live action adaptation. And this is kind of interesting because I'll start off with this. We're on episode 3, so it's still too soon to make a final call. But it's definitely not trash, but it's also not cash.
Okay.
Not all of it. Some parts are absolute cash. Casting. Fan-fucking-tastic. Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah.
John Cho owns this.
Okay.
If this is the last thing he is ever in, I hope he goes down as being a wonderful live adaptation version of Spike Spiegel.
I would say I like Mustafa Shakir as Jet Black even more.
Jet Black is also really great.
Jet Black is great. I haven't seen much of Faye yet, but
she was good too.
Yeah.
So, casting is really great. Sound, fantastic. They got the original composer back, so it really fits well. Nice. Where it starts to get questionable is how much of an adaptation do you want? Do you want it to be screen shot for shot? Or do you want same characters, roughly same story, but different avenues of getting there? And as far as I can see, this show cannot decide how it wants it.
Yeah, right.
First episode is a shot-by-shot remake.
It's not too late to make someone's holiday season a special one. Start now as an Amazon Delivery Station warehouse associate to earn some extra money for the holidays. You'd help bring joy to thousands near you by preparing packages and loading them up for their final delivery. With night and early morning shifts available through the new year, you'd also have the flexibility to spend time with your loved ones. To start as a delivery station associate, go to amazon.com/holidaywork. Amazon is a proud equal opportunity employer.
So we're here at Marshall's with Liz for some holiday shopping.
She's really nailing it this year, isn't she?
Oh, yep. She got a record player for Amy.
A gorgeous cozy sweater for Jason.
And some hot pink fluffy slippers for her sister.
The perfect gift.
Wait a sec.
She's getting a pair for herself.
Well, with prices this good, it would be rude not to.
You know what? She totally deserves it.
Oh, totally.
Happy holidays, everyone. See you at Marshall's.
Fabulous brands.
Feel good prices at Marshall's.